Good evening, Central Indiana, and welcome to a Thursday night edition of Porch Time with your host, Kevin Coriel. What's going on? I've got the Skype screen set up. Hopefully it'll all work, fingers crossed. All the other cameras and mics are up too, so... What's up, Shane Williams, Jeff Jesse? How you doing? What's going on, Shane? Mac, PJ, Jim Allen, Heidi, hello. Corey Baker, Billy Owens. That's odd. I thought he was coming in. Crystal Hyatt, hello. Tracy, hello. Geneva, hello. I can't see all the names on this. Stacy, hello. You're on camera right there. Lenny, hello. Margaret, hello. Joe, what's up? Cliff's on. He should be calling in here momentarily. So, Bethany. How we doing, boss? Hopefully it'll work. We'll see. If not, I'll get fired. Be Porch Time with Corey Baker. But we're up and running regardless. Made it to Thursday. I'm patiently waiting. Corey's on his way in. Tim's in here with us. He's off cam. Look for a Skype call any minute. I am ready. Well, I just sent him. What's going on out there in the world tonight? Anything? Hopefully Cliff will be calling here in a minute. Jake was going to come in. He's got ladies and storms coming in, and they asked Dad to stay at home. So there's Chris Dubetsky. What's up, buddy? So Jake had to sit this one out, unfortunately. But I think he's going to come in next week, maybe this week still. Corey Baker's here. There's Brian. There's Erica. Hello, Erica. What's up, Brad and Mikey Rowe? Cliff Barrickman. I messed that up. Still at the Redneck Retreat, aren't we all? Hello, Colton. Oh, give me direction. Lots of rain today, more tonight. Yep, that's the scary thing. Ice cold beer and a cigar. PJ, that sounds good. I'm just hoping this Skype works in tonight. We shall see. Patiently waiting. I came a little bit early. I wanted to make sure I had everything set up on this end. So I didn't just walk in and fire it up and get a call. There's Megan. Hello. Hello, Christy. Corey's here. He's out there talking. I hear him. He'll be here in a second. There's Brennan. Barefoot laid off everybody today. 2 weeks. See it going longer. Sorry to hear that. It's unfortunately here we go. I'm here, video or just audio. Let's just call him. Calling. Both. All right, let's see if this works. Cliff, can you see me, hear me? Hello? I think there he is. How you doing, Cliff? Can you hear me, sir? I can hear you. Okay. I don't know. Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'll be right there. I usually have cans on, so it'll give me a second.
Right.
Can you hear me? Can you nod or no?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello.
Hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. I usually have for my podcast, I usually have cans in a different environment now. So sorry about that.
No problem. I'm glad you can hear me. Our audio, our visuals keeps going out here, but we'll work with it. Cliff from Finding Bigfoot and thousands of other things. He's a jazz guitarist also, which is pretty cool. Cliff Brockman from, we're out in California. Am I saying that right?
Well, no, I was born and raised in California, but I currently live in the woods outside of Portland, Oregon.
Oh, wow. So you're right out there in Squatch Land, aren't you?
Yeah. I was born in Long Beach, California, which is kind of a cement jungle, you know. It's definitely like city. And once I discovered my Bigfoot obsession, I spent most of my summers out of town as a teacher, you know. I decided eventually I just have to live where I vacation. So.
Well, first off, I want to tell you thank you for letting us do this. We appreciate it. It's the elephant in the room right now. How are things out there where you're at in Portland, as far as the plague goes, that we were saying earlier?
Well, you know, like from a societal level, there's a lot of fear, honestly.
Right.
It's a little more normal today. I went to the supermarket today, and also like 2 days ago. 2 days ago, there was like a layer of we're all pretending everything's cool, but there's certainly a layer of fear underneath. Today seemed a little bit more normal. Obviously a lot of bare shelves and stuff, and it's just I'm looking around at these poor people, you know, right. These unfortunate souls. Because fear is one thing, I get it. But they're thinking it's the end of the world, and I look at what they filled their baskets with, and it's like toilet paper and snack-sized portions of chips. I think, oh my God, what are you doing? You know, you should be. There's other more important things that might last longer than potatoes.
Well, you grew up in the woods, obviously, or where you're at now, anyway, and so you understand. Yeah. And unfortunately, we have a lot of that here in Central Indiana, where toilet paper is now the gold standard, and people have to have it for some reason, and I don't know what's up with that, honestly.
I don't know, you know, human beings have been on this planet for about 300,000 years or more, and for damn near all of that, toilet paper and Doritos didn't exist. You know, there's other things you should be paying attention to. You know, you should be teaching yourself how to do game snares.
Right.
So if you're that concerned, you know, if you want to. I've always said if you want to see a Bigfoot, you need to be a Bigfoot, and this is where it really comes in handy.
Good segue right here. I am just fascinated, as are many in this area. I know you guys came out to the forestry. Love what you guys did on the show, and thanks. We want to know basic questions from you. Favorite spot to go looking for him. Best encounter. You've been all over the world doing this on all sorts of creatures. And it's just fantastic to me.
Thank you. And I've been to a lot of places. I think we've been to 45 states. I'll say 46 because when we did the Tahoe episode, we went to Nevada, even though Tahoe isn't necessarily exactly in Nevada, it's in California more or less. But yeah, we poked our head over Nevada. So really 46 states there and 5 continents, looking for a variety of relic hominoids. But my favorite place is right here. And that's why I live here. I'm one of those people that doesn't settle for less than what they want a lot of times.
Sure.
And you know, like if Bigfooting was better in Indiana to me, then I would live there. I've got an affinity for the coast as well, and I think Sasquatches do too. But yeah, my favorite place is the Pacific West. Whether that's I'd say Northern California to Washington. And I sure love British Columbia. Don't get me wrong. I love Canada in general. A lot of things about it, but I just haven't been up there enough where I feel I have the right to say that.
Right. You get to go to all the good spots too with the show, and that's the cool of it. You got to, of course, Bobo's a fan favorite also, and I know you spend a lot of time with those guys. Where are you headed next? And I also personal encounter if you have some you can share with us.
Oh, well, there's been a whole lot of those over the last 25, 26 years of me doing this sort of thing. But I don't know, as far as personal encounters, I guess maybe I think I saw one. I think that was pretty cool. It was in North Carolina, and we were actually filming the show at the time. We didn't get it on camera because we were unprepared for it. It was literally our first night investigation on the series. In fact, the beginning of the episode when Moneymaker does that, there's something on the hill.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
They're talking. Matt doesn't think it's Bigfoot. At least to the last thing I heard, he still doesn't think it's a Bigfoot. I'm strongly inclined to think it is. It certainly wasn't moving like a human moves, and whatever it was navigating a wooded hillside at 2 a.m, 2 miles off trail without a light. And Moneymaker couldn't even get close to it when he tried to chase it away.
I remember him running up the hill, and you told him that's not how this can go down like this. You're not going to run it down.
I thought it was inappropriate, yeah, especially since I was thinking I was looking at a Sasquatch. I still think it was a Sasquatch.
Right.
When he yelled at it after it started walking away, it stopped and paused on one leg for 10 seconds or something like that. And not a week later, we talked to another witness that said that the Sasquatch she saw exhibited the same behaviors. And again, like I said, it was a weird place where people shouldn't have been. Nobody knew we were going to be there.
Sure.
2 miles off the trail, 2 a.m. And it was navigating a wooded hillside. I thought, like, oh, and we also got a vocalization off that same hillside not 45 minutes later. So I'm inclined to think that was a Sasquatch, and that one kind of stands out to me.
The science of it, that's where everybody wants us to go as far as DNA or hair samples or whatever. I've heard and watched enough of these where they have enough evidence. When do you think we're going to reach that point where they say, okay, there's definitely, I don't think they'll ever come out and label a Bigfoot unless they catch one. But there's definitely, I've heard them say there's definitely something out there.
It'll be a dead one, whether it's a bullet or whether it's a logging truck on the way to work in the morning or something. A dead one is really probably going to be about the only thing that solves this.
Right.
Which is really why I don't advocate for necessarily, because I'm not a hunter. I'm not going to go out there and pull the trigger.
Right.
And it seems a little disrespectful to do so.
Right.
Especially since I mean, we don't know, of course, and that's the argument on the other side, that we need to kill one to see how they're all doing, pass laws to protect them and all. And I see that side of the argument. I'm just not a hunter. I've got a couple guns, but I'm not really a guy, So I think I wouldn't advocate for most people.
Right.
Especially Bigfoot's sake. But also because it's depending on where you are, it's kind of a gray area or not, whether it's legal to try to shoot and kill a Sasquatch. But no matter where you are, it is 100% illegal to shoot a jackass in a monkey suit. Although I'm not sure I agree with that law, honestly.
Right? If you're dumb enough to put it on out there and run through the woods, you know what? That's breaks the game. Do stupid stuff, win stupid prizes,
Evolution is a fact, and Darwinism plays a big part in that. Yeah.
Right. We're getting some individuals online saying that they did see a juvenile Bigfoot out at the forestry, the one you guys were. I think you guys came down at a very bad time. Wasn't it hunting season when you guys came down here? And there was people all over that place. And, I mean, it's not a huge forestry compared to some of the ones that you've been in. But they claim, there's a lot of claims that they've seen them out there, and some. I've had some individuals contact me just because what we do here, and they've told me their story, and they're like, "Please don't tell anybody." They've been ridiculed, it happens, and their stories are unbelievable. Just like when you guys had your town hall here, and so many people show up, anywhere you go, really. So,
well, Indiana is a great Bigfoot place. Southern Indiana is best, really. And as far as not having a lot of forest, that place is huge. All throughout southern Indiana. The closer you get to the river, the better. Northern Kentucky, southern Indiana is probably top 5 places that have been pumping out activity in the last 10 years.
Really? That is amazing. We
Yeah, don't anybody who's listening, don't feel ashamed. You saw a Sasquatch. You just saw a perfectly normal animal, very rare, perfectly normal animal, and there's plenty of them. Plenty, probably a few dozen or so, or more in Indiana.
outside of the country, what's your favorite creature to go after? I know the Yeti, they call them different names in different areas. You guys have bounced around. What's your favorite one to chase outside the country?
Well, gosh, that probably has to be the Yowie, just because I loved Australia so much when we went there.
Right.
Like Australia is just gorgeous, at least where we were, and we were on the Gold Coast, north of Sydney, south of Brisbane, and like the weather's perfect, and I don't know if you've ever been to Southern California. I grew up there, so I've been all over the place.
I have, but years ago.
It reminded me a lot of San Diego. If San Diego had like 20% of the people.
Oh wow.
It was just beautiful.
Perfect atmosphere and weather.
Perfect weather, perfect beaches. I mean, you have to kind of ignore the shark nets on the outside of the surf. But other than that, it's perfect. It's just great. I just loved it. I love the culture. Yeah, and the fact that you can drive 30 minutes, and find yowies.
Right. You have been blessed to travel places like that, and you guys, your group, getting along, pre-show, after show, you and Bobo seem to get along well on and off. How is it working with Moneymaker and I forget the lady's name? I'm so sorry. If she yes.
Yeah, Renee was the skeptical scientist.
That's putting it mildly.
Bobo and I are good friends. We still are. We do a weekly podcast called Bigfoot and Beyond with Cliff and Bobo ourselves, and so we talk literally every week. In fact, an hour after I get off the air, or 2 hours, I have another podcast with Bobo. And Matt and I speak not very often, probably once every month or two or something like that, just to kind of catch up on things. He always checks to see how my museum's coming along, and I haven't spoken to Renee too much, just a handful of times. She's doing whatever she's doing. I guess she's trying to take children to the woods to do like campfire talks or something like that. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't found it online yet how she's marketing this.
Sure.
But that's what she was saying that she's starting to do. So we all got along pretty well on the show, but not always great, admittedly. But have you ever gone on a road trip with your spouse? You love your spouse, but you don't always get along, right? Yeah, it's a family thing. You don't get to choose your family. You don't get to choose your road family.
Right.
Yeah, for the most part, we got along, and there were always times and stuff. Even Bobo and I got into it a couple times. That's just the way it is, because Bigfooters tend to be wildly pig-headed, stubborn individuals. Then you put a couple of us together, there's going to be, some knocking of heads sometimes.
We believe what we believe in, and we're going to stick to that story. That's right. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I have never seen one. We went to the forest. We've seen some eye shine, but it could be anything at that point in time, height wise and things like that. It kind of makes you freak out. But I would love to see one, just experience that adrenaline rush, I guess, and to know, wow, after years of hearing about this, that there it was. The one brief moment.
Something like that. Yeah, my Bigfoot friends who have seen one. Generally speaking, at least I'd guess maybe half of them. I mean, this isn't a formal survey, but probably half of them or more didn't even quite realize what they were looking at the time. Like you spend that time, that when your eyes are actually on the thing, you spend that time processing what's going on.
Right. You probably can't even fathom what you're feeling and thinking at that point in time.
You don't even realize it. Is the thing. That's my point. It's like you're not going, oh my God, I'm seeing a Bigfoot. I gotta process this. It's like, why is he over there? Because I thought he was over there. And then like a few minutes later, it's that guy over there says, hey, and you go, then you go, what the hell?
Right.
While it happens, it seems to me most people don't even really realize it. Yeah, there's a percentage of people, particularly like people who aren't Bigfooters, who aren't looking for that sort of thing. But even they it's an interesting thing. Like no two encounters are the same. So no matter how you predict it would happen, it won't happen any. I guarantee it.
How do you handle the naysayers and the non-believers? I mean, probably not so much to you, but if I'm gonna catch it, I'm sure from people that they don't care about this, but there are a lot of non-believers. And how do you handle that? The best way to handle that?
The same way I handle the people who say the Earth is flat. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me because they're wrong. Like people who seek me, like I think it's a mentally ill individual who purposefully seeks me out in order to tell me Bigfoot's
Right.
Like what is the purpose? Because I'm clearly convinced otherwise.
Right.
Why would somebody? And people do, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I get these emails probably about a couple times a month. They're usually, if I printed them out, they'd be like 7 or 9 pages. Usually all in capital letters with tons of misspellings and very little. And these people are ranting and very angry and sometimes threatening violence against me about my beliefs in Bigfoot, whether I believe it or not, or what I believe in Bigfoot. Those are the scary ones.
Right.
You know. So yeah, I get those sort of things. I just don't engage because what I have found over the years is that the more sure somebody is that Bigfoots could not and are not real, the less informed on the subject they are. And you know, I do my best to be an educator, but gosh, you know, that's just not my job sometimes. You know?
Right. They should practice putting a sentence together first before coming at you with something like that, obviously.
No, they're not all like knuckle draggers or anything. Don't get me wrong. And I don't mind a good skeptic. I encourage everyone to be skeptical because 95% of the stuff out there on YouTube and the internet is absolutely
right.
Most of it is just garbage.
Yeah.
It really is. You have to have a discriminating, like, logical mind to get through all this stuff. But again, as far as how I deal with the people, I encourage them to read. I encourage them to inform themselves and then come back. Because if I have the facts about what work has been done and the evidence and how it's all internally congruent, and they don't, they're just taking my word for it. And that's no better than watching some YouTube conspiracy channel. You know, taking somebody else's word for it instead of what your own experiences are. That's foolish.
A lot of times you hear, we would have found something by now, but to disprove that argument, didn't they just find a hummingbird that has supposed to have been extinct since the dinosaurs, just like within 2 weeks ago? So I mean, you can't tell me that things aren't out there that we haven't found yet, all over this planet.
Actually, that doesn't line up because birds didn't exist when dinosaurs were here. They later morphed into birds.
Okay.
So like, there's something wrong in your timeline there. But in general, we are discovering new things all the time in very surprising forms. And like one off the top of my head, we discovered a new species, a new subspecies, I should say, of orangutan in 2017. It's an orangutan. You know, that's a big old ape, just like Sasquatches are large apes, just like we are large apes. We discovered a brand new flavor of those, like in 2017. Or even more staggering, we discovered a new species of human. It was published in May of 2019. We have fossils of a new species of human that we didn't know existed. We are constantly discovering things, both living, extant, or extinct. We are always discovering more and more. And I think that a lot of the people who don't believe in Sasquatches and there's couldn't be real, they're making two big mistakes. Number one is they're underestimating the Sasquatch. And number two, they're overestimating us.
You guys were the pioneers, as far as I consider. Do you feel that way? And did you guys think that you would be as popular and as it blown up as much as it did? There may have been others, but when your guys' show hit the airways, man, you guys were rock stars instantly. People loved it, and they still do. And did you foresee that coming at all, or any of you? Did any of you?
No, I thought we'd have a couple. I thought we'd have a couple seasons of the show, then I'd go back. I didn't think it was going to be a 9-year journey.
Right.
Like, you know, I'm not sure any of us did. I mean, maybe Bobo or Matt would say they did, but none of us knew. That's for sure. But it was a heck of a ride, and it was a lot of fun. And I'll tell you, TV is a shallow, superficial medium at best. And I worked in it for 9 years. I know. And we fought tooth and nail. And now that I saw how TV production works, and I do a lot of speaking engagements too. So I'm on tour with a lot of other folks and stuff out there who have similar jobs and other shows into other paranormal whatevers. You know, not that Bigfoot is paranormal at all, by the way, but that's the speaking circuit that I've been able to.
Sure.
I found that a lot of them, I'm not even sure that most of them are kind of actors, honestly. And I won't name names or anything, but like a lot of these people are just actors, and they're not really researchers in the sort of way that I thought that maybe should be looking into things like whatever. Like I happen to look into whatever.
Well, I think that is one reason people gravitate towards you and Bobo so much is for lack of better words, you can see through the BS. You know what I mean?
Like
You are actually.
You just watch some of it. Just watch his acting.
Right. Well, you guys, you're in it because you're out there. You want to know. You're the researcher. Bobo's hiking up and down those mountains and running, and you know these guys are in it, and you can tell it. You can see right through the BS on it, and know these guys are for real. And that I think that's why the majority.
I don't know if you read newspapers at the time, but the production company tried to make us fall in line. They just thought we'd want to be famous or some nonsense like that. And they were encouraging us to participate in some falsehoods, and we fought and fought and fought. And after season 1, they figured it out that we're not going to do it. We got the backing of the networks. We were never asked to lie again after season. That's when we won. Actually, we found out during season 1, one of the producers tried to hoax us because we weren't getting the reactions they needed for TV.
Hollywood it up. Yeah.
And we found out because, man, you know, if one thing Moneymaker is, Matt's very good at a couple of things. One of the things is excellent. He found out, and we arranged it so any producer that tried to hoax us for a reaction, or that, you know, they would lose their job that day. And we lost producers over the next season. They all figured out that we were serious about it.
You kept it as real as possible. That's the why I think it lasted as long as it did. 100%.
Many producers and camera people on the show walked away from Finding Bigfoot saying that Finding Bigfoot was the most real reality show they'd ever worked on. And yeah, man, I'll tell you, I'm very honest. I'll be the first one to tell you that maybe we didn't have to take a speedboat night investigation spot.
Right.
That's the TV thing. I get that. I was terrible. If we said or thought it about Bigfoot, we were not lying. We could be wrong, but we weren't lying.
And I'll ask you this. This is where it all started. Roger Patterson, 1967.
Didn't start with him? What are you talking about?
Well, as far as the video and that's what everybody clings on to. Your thoughts on that?
100%.
100% real. That's how I feel.
Yeah, you don't feel that way. You just have to read the evidence about it, man. Like, read the book by Bill Munns, which is when Roger met Patty, is the name of the book. Bill Munns is he's a man of many hats, I suppose. He makes museum quality replicas of extinct mammals for museums. He is in the film industry. He helped make the suits for the movie Congo, if you know that movie.
Yes, sir.
Movie.
Yes, sir.
He went into the study of the Patterson-Gimlin film thinking, yeah, I'm going to figure out this is a hoax pretty quick. A decade later, he came out saying, holy crap, there's no way this could be fake. The evidence is there. Those who say that it's hoax don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, it is 100% real.
Yeah. That, to me, it looks like a female Bigfoot walking, and that's what I've always thought. And I'm no scientist. I'm just regular Joe, and I've always felt that since the first time I ever witnessed that. And then now they break it down and the science of it, and you're like, plain as day. It's an actual being. You know, it's a Bigfoot.
Yeah, it is.
Wendell was asked.
Well, I got a question here. What's the question?
I don't know if he answered it. If they ever seen or heard anything out of it.
Do you remember seeing anything out there, Cliff, out at the Morgan Monroe Forestry that night, or hearing anything of anything?
I got some screams north of Indianapolis, in that little patch, because Morgan Monroe State Forest, if I remember correctly, is broken into 2 big chunks. That's kind of go above and below, north and south of Indianapolis, if I remember. And when I was north of there, I hiked into this lake, and I heard some weird calls out there. I'm not sure what they were. I recorded them. They played them on the show. Other than that, the best stuff I remember was from southern Indiana, and it wasn't necessarily an encounter of mine. It was actually running across several witnesses, one of which had seen them on her property several times. Okay. She owns a big chunk of property surrounded by a lot of nothing woods. And she had seen them, I think, 3 or 4 times on her property over the last few years. And those are the really interesting witnesses to me. Because, you know, one-time sighting is like a road crossing. It's like, well, what does that teach us about the animal? But if you have a place where they keep back to, then you have an opportunity to learn a little bit how these things.
Yeah, they may be living somewhere very near there. Clearly, it sounds like if they're coming back around all the time, or at least trying
through periodically on their circuit.
Right. So, what are the odds you coming back this way anytime soon? Are you still investigating? Where are you off to next, or or what's your plans on
The
that?
show went off the air in May of 2018.
Right.
So since that time, last year I made my living by doing public speaking events and whatnot. And then, but that's a heck of a way to make a living. You're carting around yourself 4 days a week for not very much money generally. I managed to stay above water, so to speak. But so this year, I decided to take what was left of my TV money savings, which wasn't much, man. You don't make a whole lot of money, don't get me wrong. And I started a business. Started the North American Bigfoot Center with my wife Melissa. She and I put our heads together and cooked up this idea of a Bigfoot museum. Actually, we were encouraged by a couple other friends who have their own Bigfoot. I saw Dave Becerra, who has a little shop called Expedition Bigfoot, Georgia, Cherry Log, really, right outside of Blue Ridge. He was instrumental in me idea to do it out here. Lauren Coleman, a good friend of mine who has the International Cryptozoology Museum. He has one in Portland, Maine. So he has also been helping me along the way. And another guy, Mike Rugg in Southern California, I was influenced by him. He's in Felton, California. All these people have somehow managed to eke a living and continue their Bigfoot research and their cryptid research at the same time.
Sure.
So my wife and I started, we funneled what was left of our savings into that. And actually, it's where I'm sitting now. It's not a glamorous background, but this is my back room at the North American Bigfoot Center. We're closed right now, unfortunately, because of the plague. But hopefully that'll just last another week or two.
Right. God willing, that goes away quick, and we can all get back to work. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have some faith in the short attention span and lack of sacrifice Americans are willing to make. So, I mean, that's kind of sad, but it's true. I think that eventually we're going to get antsy and need to get out, plague be damned, essentially.
Right.
So, hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can get up and running again. In the meantime, I'm here trying to figure out how to run an online store.
Okay. Melvin Ketchum, do you work with, and what was the other name, Dr. Meldrum?
Oh, I work with Dr. Meldrum a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, we were texting this morning. He has been very influential on me because he's just such a conservative scientist in his views. Basically, when I say conservative, I don't mean like he's not willing to go out on a limb or anything like that. He approaches it from a very down-to-earth, mammalian sort of human evolution sort of way. He is the one that is really pioneering the idea of relic hominoids, and that's clearly what we're dealing with. So he's the scientist he's my go-to scientist because I don't, as you mentioned, I have a degree in. I have
jazz guitar, and I want to get to that before we let you go. But I wanted to ask you, as a kid, did you gravitate towards the woods and want to go look for stuff like this? I mean, we're all treasure hunters. We all want to go play in the woods as kids. I grew up in the woods, but is this something that you pursued since childhood, or did you kind of fall into it?
Yes and no. I've always been kind of weird, honestly.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
I was a smart nerd kid in class, isn't the weird things. So, but I remember being interested in the Bigfoot thing from like 4 or 5 years old, probably. And I was, I'd check out books in hopes to see. I remember seeing big Ivan Marks things. But really, I've kept an interest through most of my youth in weird phenomena and strange things. I find the world to be fascinating. Not even just the weird stuff, the mundane stuff is mind-boggling weird. But also, it was when I was in college, actually. I was way on the other side of campus, away from the music department, and I had like a 3-hour break. So it wasn't really enough time to go do any practicing that was meaningful or get off campus for lunch. So what I would do is I would go into the library and just pick books off of the shelf, subjects that I was interested in, most sciences. And then one day I ran across this collection of journal articles written by folks about Sasquatches. And the folks were like ethnologists or primatologists, or Dr. Pants had some stuff. John Green had some stuff. I started reading through this, and that was my first exposure to the evidence. Before, it was just this quirky, interesting, I hope they're real kind of thing.
Right.
But when I started actually reading about the serious, diligent work that had been done, it spun my head, man. So I started reading every book I could. And then it wasn't very long before I realized, holy crap, they're real. And so I was already camping, backpacking, and that sort of stuff. So I just kind of put that on the list of what to do in the woods. And I started camping specifically where Sasquatches. And that was 25, 26 years ago now. I'm drowning in the subject.
If I was going out in the woods as a novice hunter or researcher, I don't want to say hunter on that respect. What would I look for? I know the trees. They seem to see. There's a lot of trees where they lay them over, and you're not going to get that from a storm or human the way they fell. What could you tell us to look out for as far as other than tracks?
Well, what you should do is you should camp in a place where somebody had seen one before. And if there's more than one sighting within a few miles, camp there. Okay. And that's the first thing that you do. So that gets you out on the right foot. Especially if you can do it during the same time. So you need to look at the data a little bit.
Sure.
Think about it. As far as what you do when you're out there, honestly, most people see them either while driving or camping. Just camping, just being folks.
Right.
So you don't have to do anything in particular. You just have to be out there and be interesting and have an awareness that they may be around. And you have to have a subtlety, your own awareness, in order to try to figure out if they are. And most of the time, they're not there. Most of the time, the forest is empty. You're lucky to get some sort of indication. Those indications usually come in the form of sounds. Listen for knocks, particularly pattern knocks. Not woodpecker sort of stuff, but just knocks that you don't think can be made naturally.
Sure.
Trees make a lot of weird popping noises. Still can't figure out how all of them are made. So you always have to be careful about that. Vocalizations are another good thing to listen for. But really, if you're hanging out, singing songs around a fire, playing a slide whistle, putting the radio on, whatever, doing something that they don't hear normally, there's a decent chance one might come in for a closer look.
They're as interested as us at that point in time as we are them, probably. They want to come see.
Because at that point, if you're singing songs, your mind's elsewhere anyway. Yeah, they're probably more interested.
Right. Got a question. Do you believe in aliens? I heard you mention that earlier, but if so, how, do you find it intriguing?
I don't think that there's good evidence for it. I think there's a lot of subjective experiences for it. And that's not really evidence. That's a subjective experience, which is a story at the end. Somebody claims something, but that doesn't do anything. Right. I think mathematically, physically speaking, there's got to be aliens. I think that the challenge for humans looking for extraterrestrial intelligence is a couple things. Number one, be able to recognize the kinds of intelligence. It may not be like ours. Like ours may be kind of unique to our corner of the galaxy, and maybe there's others, but it's a very egocentric, a species-centric perspective for things that think like, like for example, people ask me how smart Sasquatches are. They're smarter than us or whatever. They say, well, not by our standards, but I'm sure by their standards they're smart because they funnel their exceptional intelligence. Right. So I don't think we'll be able to recognize extraterrestrial. And frankly, maybe looking for intelligence on other, balls of rock circling other stars and other planets, maybe that's not the right way to go. Maybe that's just a superficial level of us looking at the universe. Maybe we need to plumb some other depths. I don't know. But I think that certainly there's other intelligences in the universe. It's just, would we be able to figure it out? Are we smart enough? Are we one of those intelligent, species that can see it? I don't know.
I would say if they were watching us right now, they would say, what in the hell are they doing with the toilet paper?
Yes, that is not an intelligent species yet. Yeah,
no.
Because we've risen to that level yet.
Right.
I don't know if I believe this, but I like to play with the idea. I've heard other people expound upon it about joining the Galactic Alliance. Some sort of like
right
or whatever, but like some sort of like galactic brotherhood.
Sure.
We have not quite risen to the level yet.
No, we're not there. And this set us back decades, I'm afraid.
yeah, and there is a little bit of evidence for some there. Remember when WikiLeaks? And I love this. I just love this. Remember when WikiLeaks stole all the emails from the Democratic folks and then dumped it all the Podesta emails?
Yes, sir.
You can on WikiLeaks. There's a search function. You can just go there and type in unexplained aerial phenomenon or extraterrestrial intelligence or UFOs or whatever. Like, try a couple buzzwords there, and sure as shit, pardon me, sure enough, man,
You're
there's
fine.
there's emails going back and forth between HD and the person about things like 0 point energy and the celestials and all
Wow.
sorts of crazy stuff that you would just never think would be in like the US database email stuff.
That's more interesting than the crap that they released. So I would have rather heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking, like, at the time, I'm thinking, okay, they're going, and I don't like politics. I don't like anybody involved in it, by the way, so I'm not taking one side or another.
Sure.
Okay? I want to make clear before I say anything. Okay, so yeah, Trump screws a porn star, and that's news, but yet they're talking about extraterrestrial intelligence, and no one says anything.
Right. Just breeze over that. Right.
Come on, what the hell's going on? Priorities are a little wrong. That just proves we're still stuck at this animal level where sex is the new, as opposed to like intelligence.
Valid. That is so valid. And now I'm going to go, when we're done here, I'm going to be hitting WikiLeaks and researching, because that's...
yeah, the Podesta emails, man. The right the search function is right there for everybody.
That's awesome. Jazz guitarist. I don't think I think Bobo one time had some buddies from Hawaii out and they played some things, but I don't think I ever heard of you mentioning that. You may have on air, but that's pretty cool.
I played some instruments on air as well. I remember I played bass in Illinois.
That's right. I do remember that. I
played guitar in Oklahoma, and I've sat in with I think band in maybe West Virginia or somewhere. I don't remember. It's a bluegrass band.
Right.
Yeah, they had me play some instruments on the air, but at the time when I was getting my college degree, I didn't know quite what to do. I started out as a physics astronomy major, but then when I got to calculus 2, it just kicked my ass, man. And I figured, I don't want to do this. God, torture. And I don't think I had a great teacher, perhaps, or I don't know. I just didn't get it. I think I'd do better at it now. I don't think I was mentally mature enough at that time. Honestly, I think maturity has a lot to do with it.
Sure.
When you have the ability, I was good at math and stuff. I had the ability, it just didn't get there somehow. It didn't sink in right. But I was working in the elementary schools at the time, as a teacher. Good job, and I enjoyed it, and I was good at it. So I decided, you know what, I'm actually just going to be a teacher, because I'm not really good at anything, but I'm pretty good at most things. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not an expert at anything, not even big, really, but I'm pretty good at most things. So I figured that's kind of the job description for an elementary school teacher, but you have to get a degree in something. Right. So you can get a degree in liberal studies, whatever that is. I mean, or you can get a degree in a specific thing that you cared about, and then take a test for the liberal studies leader. And that's what I did. I figured, well, what do I care about, like being good at? So I really enjoy playing guitar.
Well, I think you found what you're great at, and I think many folks across the country will agree that what you did on the show. All y'all, it just resonated with the people so well. And
well, what? Being a teacher taught me how to do that. Right. I can't credit it to just me, man, because it was being a teacher. I remember one time there was a producer, her name was Heather, and we were out in the woods, and it was a night investigation. I don't remember who I was with or even what state it was, but I remember what she said to me, because we did a call, and we were waiting, and then coyotes called me. Coyotes. She goes, "Is that it?" "Yeah, it's coyotes. You don't hear them?" I said, No, that's all you're going to give to the camera. I go, "Well, yeah, but I don't want to be, that's not a Bigfoot, so I don't want to get too excited about it." She goes, Cliff, if you were doing a lesson in a 5th grade classroom and you mixed together vinegar for baking soda and made the volcano thing, and you've been teaching for 20 years, are you going to go, "Yeah, there it is, guys"? Right. Or are you going to go, "What is this?" and blah, blah, and like make a big deal? Well, and I said, well, of course I would do that, my students. And she goes, "Right. Your classroom just went from 30 to 1.3 million a week. Do your students right." And I went, "Oh, wow."
Right.
And so that's what you see on camera. Like in my real life, I'm a quiet, introverted homebody. I really am. But on camera, I am in your face, and I'm excited, and this is what I'm doing, and I'm going for it because I love you.
Yeah. Well, you have, and you did for 9 years. And when I told all my viewers you were going to be on, they were excited. People still find it fascinating. They love what you do, and they love what you guys have done in the past. And hopefully, if you get on the circuit and you're heading out this way, got to stop by Martinsville. We're right here by the forestry. Love to have you in. And and at least chit chat with you some more. So, anybody got anything else, Corey or Timmy? No, got a couple guys in here with me off cam, but Monster Quest also. How was that compared? That's one question. Monster Quest compared to Finding Bigfoot.
Oh, it's just different. Actually, it's funny because I was honestly texting with Check just an hour ago.
Right.
He's the producer. Friends. Yeah. So when I was asked to do Monster Quest back in 2008, I didn't know Doug. In fact, I just met Doug this. But Bobo got the gig, and he said, "Yeah, we're going to go on the Yurok. I think it was Yurok Reservation. First white people to be invited on there legally to do it." And, oh my God. Yeah, so that was awesome. But the difference is the shoot time shorter. I think the Monster Quest shoot was 3 or 4 days, if I remember right, and a standard Finding Bigfoot episode shoot 8 days.
Really?
Yeah. We in Finding Bigfoot we filmed over 100 hours film for every 43.5 minute edited down that way. So we spent a tremendous amount of time.
Well, your interaction with the people, I think. One of the best things of the show was the town hall, and at the same time, normally it seemed like a couple of you guys went to the town hall, and normally you, or maybe Moneymaker, would already be in the woods for a day or two. Yeah, one person would be out, and then you guys, and that was pretty cool. You're gathering the information from the locals, getting all that history and what's out there, while you already got one of your team members out there learning the lay of the land, and that was just, we loved the setup the way it went.
Well, after the after the four cast members were so upset about some of the falsehoods during season 1 that we had to endure. When we like at one point the network executives from Manhattan had to fly down the big because we were just so incensed, just angry about the way it was going.
Sure.
And I remember standing up and yelling at someone who later became one of my best friends, Keith Hoffman. Producer Animal Hunter. You know what? Like your show is going away in 3 or 4 years, no matter how well it does. I'm Bigfooting the rest of my life. I'm not sacrificing. But and we won a lot in that meeting. We won, and one of them was a camping segment, which was fantastic because it was like me and Tyler Bounds, who was a camera guy, who was actually a Bigfooter with a camcorder, and we'd go out and put all of our focus on the Bigfoots, and I think it made for a really good segment of the show.
Sure.
And we got really good stuff, and heck, man, Tyler saw Sasquatch while filming Bobo out in Alabama. He hit something that he's not sure what it was, might have been a Sasquatch, and like, who knows what that was. He hit something in the car. What it was. Probably a deer, but you never know. I don't know. There a lot of really cool adventures happened during the camping segment. That was by far my favorite part of it.
Well, we appreciate. Anybody got anything else before? Cliff, we appreciate you coming on. We could go for hours. I know you've got to head out here soon to go meet with your buddy Bobo. Give him our love, sir. Can't say how proud we of what all you've done in the field for us, and we're going to keep following you, and hopefully, they'll come forth with it and say, hey, there are Bigfoots at some point in time. And if not, I know you believe fully. So that's all that matters. We do too. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Stay safe out there in Portland. I hope the plague goes away out there as quick as it does all over. So
yeah, me too.
Thank you, Cliff. You have a nice night.
Thanks, guys.
That was fun. Now we got to get it back to normal. Yeah, we're still alive, Corey. All right. Nothing I can do about that. All right. I had to get it down. Where we at? All right, y'all. Who's in here with me tonight? Sorry about couldn't see the comments. We're going to have to figure that out a little bit better. Even if we have to put another monitor over here. I couldn't see him very well at all. Couldn't see the questions.
Had him right there.
I know it, but I kept looking away, and then I felt bad because I was looking
'cause
away
you
from
were-
him. Yeah. little short-handed on viewers tonight, but I was hoping more could come on. Hopefully more will watch that. How did it look on that end? Could you see him? You couldn't see me though at all. This did not work.
That's why I turned that camera.
Okay.
Because people wanted to see your beautiful face.
Of course they did. Yeah, they couldn't. This one didn't work, and I don't understand that because the whole setup on the screen looks weird. See that? Look how that camera is right there. Doesn't that? Oh, I know what it is. It's this rail right here makes it look like this whole picture's jacked up. All right. Nice job with the technology. Thanks, Shane. Hello, Sarah. It didn't work as well as we wanted, but it worked. That's all that matters. And we'll get better at that. That's probably like, what in the hell did I just get into there? But anyway, we had fun. And the guy is very intelligent, clearly. Clearly intelligent guy. All right. Oh, Camille, I saw you text me, but I didn't want to pull away from him. I've got one of my daughters texting me.
She said you were already on top of her son's list. Now you're even higher because
he's got his Gone Squatching hat on.
He loves that.
That's
show.
Awesome. Anyway,
what we're doing?
Well, Jake couldn't come.
Oh.
Yeah, he texted me. He said the ladies don't want me leaving because of the storms rolling in.
Oh,
they're coming in. But he did say, after probably tomorrow, he said any time. So I told him, I said, dude, we're going live every night. Just need to come up here. Yeah. So I think he will join us a couple times.
We should get him come on live and sing a few songs because
I want some songs from the bus like Toby did.
That's what a lot of them musicians are doing right now. They're going on Facebook Live and they're
singing some songs,
singing little songs.
I know I had an individual wanting to do that last night, and overall good. The live box and the counter covered your face, but it was good. Yeah, that's okay. I'd rather my face be covered than theirs. We have it set up. I've got a camera that actually. It would come on, then it would go away, and when we were doing our testing on it, it worked fine. And of course, the only good testing is actually live fire, and when we did, it didn't work. Jane, does he know I ran for mayor? Evidently not, and that's okay. I think the guy was clearly conservative, but he didn't want to get into that, and I respect that. I want to address a couple things here. Or my group will skin me alive.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, hang on. That's what I'm going to now. I'm going to check the weather. I know we got storms coming in. Hello, Nyla. Hello, Brandon. We were way down on numbers tonight. People, I think, are still out doing things, and we'll be on a little later. I can come back on later if I have to, but we may have to clear. Let's see what the radar looks like. There's a decent swath of rain coming up from the south, but I don't know if severe level yet.
In orange, but
yeah,
I think might going
spring storms
northeast, but
we're gonna get them. Colton Goss like 14 years ago on booze might have been. Oh, did Colton say he saw one? I want to go back and look.
Colton said somebody shot at one a few years back, 5 or 6 years ago or something.
Where down in Paragon?
I don't know.
I know when he said that kind of threw me off on the pterodactyl. I was like, I know I read that.
I think it was before the pterodactyl. I can't believe Jeff Price hasn't seen Harry and the Hendersons.
I thought he starred in Harry and the Hendersons. I can't go any further. So
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was after his pterodactyl. No, because it was before the aliens.
Anyway, I seen one. Have you? Where at? What's up, Bill?
Oh, that's who. I think that's who he tagged.
Michael.
Brandon. Booze may have been involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael said he had one run out in front of him. So,
Where at, Michael?
forestry, I think he put a comment on there earlier.
Did he? I apologize for not keeping up on that. I needed to move it down here. I actually, when we go live on Skype, I think it'd be better to have.
Well, yeah, you have another monitor. Why didn't we hook?
And I've got HDMI slots on this computer up the butt. Probably could just undo that and plug another monitor in here, and then I can look back and forth. The only reason that TV's even in existence in here is for people in here to see as we're doing it. I'm the one who's seen the one in the forestry. Okay. That's awesome, man.
He said he thought it was a. I think Michael, didn't you say you thought it was a juvenile one, and you guys stopped and y'all locked eyes, and I said
looked right at you,
ran out in front of him, and
I think the early start time didn't go at 6.
Where's
wasn't nothing I could do about that. That was his early.
Cliff's out in Portland.
Portland, and he's got a. He goes. They, yeah, they do a 2-hour podcast. Him and Bobo.
So they're like 3 hours.
3 hours
behind
behind us. And he called. I'm sitting there working. The dude calls me, and I'm like, "Hello," because I didn't recognize the number. I almost didn't answer. He goes, "Hey, is this Kevin? This is Cliff." And I'm like,
"So that was your text today, telling us we're going live at 6."
Yeah. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "I'm all for it. Let's do this." He goes, "Can you go a little sooner?" And I'm like, "I've got stuff I'm working on." And I was like, "What about 6?" He goes, "What time is it there now?" And I go, "It's like 2:15." He goes, "Wow, you're 3 hours ahead of us?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "You're East Coast?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I didn't realize Indiana was that far or that time zone." I go, "Yeah, we're East Coast right now, and I think we always will be now that they've switched it back around." But I said, "Does 6 work for you?" And he goes, "Yeah, let's go at 6." He goes, "Yeah, that's next." Believe me, I want to do that one. Do you? Like that. Where'd you get that, TV?
That one group.
Oh, for our
I don't know if it was the Morgan County.
Thank you, Nyla.
The Indiana United, the Indiana.
There's 2 groups running that were
side.
kind of in, yeah.
The one had 20-some thousand.
Yeah.
They put it out there, ordered it like in January, and got it into February.
I do have some open dates coming up the end of the month. The Spirit of the Woods, Bradford Woods group had to step away. They're not going to be able to because of the virus. This Sunday, I'm supposed to have Jennifer MC in for Purple for Parents. I will get a hold of her. Sometimes she pops on here and see if she's still a go for that. I do not know. It was just getting dark and it ran out in front of me. That's when he stopped and we locked eyes. Then it took off and I called my wife right then. Wow. Where in the forest were you, Michael? Where are you going? Leaving? Oh.
We're gonna go camp out.
I know, and I'm ready. I did post it in our squat.
Yeah,
County Squatchers.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous talking to him. Extremely intelligent guy.
Since you love planes, you'll have to fly out to Portland to his museum.
He seemed like he seemed like a fun dude to hang out with.
I'm sure Bobo is too.
Bobo would probably be more fun. What do you think, CB? You think we keep going or we call it a night? What did you say, Kevin? Whereabouts in the forestry were you? Gosh, that would be a blast.
long as we get a handful of
I
them,
was gonna say.
fry up and bring it here.
Excuse me. Now listen to what you're saying, Colton. You're going to tell people, you're going to have me walk out in the forest with you guys live, and they're going to see right where your honey patch is.
Oh, they wouldn't.
That's not good.
They ain't gonna know.
The Golf Boys might blindfold me and take me out there and spin me around and be like, all right, we're going to take the blindfold off now. That might be fun, though. That might be fun.
Mushroom hunting out there.
Oh, so that's right where you're at.
That's right by my neck of the woods, isn't it?
That's far from CB's house.
Yeah.
That's a David.
Always growing up, there was always people that had sightings on the Jordan Road area.
I'll tell you what, and it's right there. Logan and a buddy of hers swear that they're not going to say it's a squatch, but they said it was a night like this and it was pouring down rain, and
they wanted to come in on rain.
Two silly girls out driving around in the middle of the night because they think they're brave, and they went through the forestry, and they were right there near where he was, and they said it wasn't huge, but this thing ran out in front of them. They thought it was a dude in like a just dark clothing, but what freaked them out was remember, I think wasn't there like two roads there at one point in time before they screwed it all up at the intersect? Like around the sign, wasn't there two? However it was, they did a quick U-turn of the road, and where that thing was right there 1 minute, the next minute they said it was completely gone, nowhere around, and it just freaked them out.
Yeah,
can't go live while we're walking back in the woods. See,
then once you get back,
yeah, they ain't giving up their patch. I hear you, Colton. That's funny. Why don't we take a break? Why don't we take a break for like 10 minutes and come back? You want to do that, CB? Okay. We're going to kill it just for a few. Come on back. What time is it? It is 7 o'clock. About 7:15, 7:20. We'll step outside, stretch our legs. We'll be back live here in about then. Thanks for tuning in right now. We'll see you in a few.